Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. I can't believe we are finally here. This is the very first map of the Call of Duty League season. So we're here to break everything down. We're hopping on board with Scump. I don't really like this third person view. There we go, back into first person. So just to get into the strategy a little bit here, you want to hold down this back spawn. So where Chicago scrimmed, you'll see that Formal's on the left side over here, and he's just trying to lock down this left side spawn, because if they're able to push through that left side, then that means Dallas is going to have spawn. They're going to be able to rotate back for that second hard point. So even though at the top middle, you see that the score is 14-0, that's really not all that important, because the big thing here is just holding down those back spawns. Not really sure what's going on with Codcaster mode here. It's kind of hard to see what exactly is happening with spawns, but it does look like the middle hard point is being contested. Again, this is kind of all over the place. You can't really tell who is where. It does look like as Chicago is coming off spawns there, they are spawning over by Cliff's Edge. So we're hopping on board with Envoy, and he just went down back towards that second hard point. So if they stay on board with him, he spawned back here by fifth hard point. So they do still have spawns. They just went in with Formal there for a very quick second. And as we're on board with Shotzi, you can see that the kill's in front of him. Chicago does have that back spawn. So Gunless is in hardpoint. Arcides is pushed up a little bit, and you can see that everybody for Dallas is pushing forward here. So if you're Chicago, the most important thing here is to push out. You have to get out away from the hill a little bit, because essentially these gun battles are happening inside the hill. So everybody here for Chicago has to push out and get kills in those cave cuts before Dallas can push in. So again, this Codcaster is a little bit wonky. It's kind of easier to just follow one person, but if you look at the score in the top middle, it is 31-19. There's 23 seconds left, and it looks like the rest of this time is probably going to go contested. It's really 1v1. Big kill from Arcides there, and then Gunless is going to go ahead and leak out. So the last 11 seconds here is going to go to Chicago. Now, the hard part here is going to be rotating from that second hard point to that third hard point, because now as you rotate to that third hard point, you can see right there that Shotzi is in hill. But the big thing here is that Chicago is still spawning back by that last hard point. So where Crim6 is out right here, what they're trying to do is they are pushed up into those cuts, and they're really trying to spawn trap Chicago back in that second hard point inside the cave. And it looks like they're having a pretty decent amount of success here. That was a great kill by, what was that, Scump? It's hard to see at the moment. Looks like that was a great kill there for Scump. And now Chicago has pushed out. So they're over here by this Cliff's Edge. They're pushing out over towards this third hard point. So they're making their way forward pretty easily, and this is pretty tough to do on this third hard point. Sometimes it can be really hard to get out of that second hard point. And in terms of the slaying battle, just from what I'm looking at to begin with, I'm pretty surprised that Chicago's going to be able to get this time here. So Scump here is pushed up a little bit as we rotate to the next hard point. Now again, this hill, this is the third hill, or this is the fourth hill on this map. This one doesn't really matter too much in terms of spawns. The important one is the second hard point and the fifth hard point. So in terms of right now, if you're just speaking about what's happening on screen right now, of course, Dallas is in the hard point, but the most important thing is getting kills out in those cuts on the other side of the hard point. So it looks like the vast majority of this time is going to Dallas, and this is a really great job out of them. You can see right there from that overview that basically they have 5 people in hill. Gunless is just watching a cut here, which there aren't really that many people coming off spawn, so he is trying to just play his time and get inside through that little doggy door right there. So those are really good kills there. Now, unfortunately, if spawns end up flipping, if you're a Chicago fan, then they're going to spawn out for fifth, but it looks like they were overtaken, and as we rotate back to that fifth hill, Dallas is going to have about a 25-point lead. So as we rotate, again, whichever team has the spawn that's back where that original spawn is, they're going to be able to overtake this lead, and it looks like right now, so Chicago is in and Dallas is spawning by third hard point. So again, this is the same thing what we talked about earlier. If you're Chicago, you have have to push up a little bit. And this is where Arcities and Formal are so good. If you have control of the hard point, these are kills that not a lot of players are able to lock down. So big kills from Arcities there. You see him up on the scoreboard quite a bit. I wish I could see how many kills each people have. Doesn't look like that's available to us on the Codcaster screen, but Envoy is in. Scump's coming from behind right there. That's going to be a nice flank from Scump. We'll see how many he can get. It looks like he got one. Can't really see what else is going on in the kill feed, but again, like we said, whoever holds down this back spawn is going to be able to take the lead when we come out of the first map of rotations. So Dallas won that fourth one fairly easily, but this fifth hill all of the time has gone to Chicago. Now, as we go ahead and we rotate into this second round of rotations here, remember, Chicago had that spawn for that fifth hardpoint. So since they had spawn for fifth, that means they also have spawns for the second, and that's where they were able to build that lead to begin with at the very beginning of this map. So right now, in that first hill, this really isn't all that important. It's not good to see, if you're a Chicago fan, it's not good to see that Formal was able to pinch them from behind. But if you look in the kill feed, that goes 5 down. So we'll see where Dallas spawns. It looks like they are spawning out. So Dallas is spawning on that very first spawn, exactly where they spawned to start the game. So as it rotates here, Huke is trying to push through Cave. They are going to have to lock that down. So Chicago is going to have spawns as it rotates back to this second hill. It'll just be up to them to hold them down. And again, Arcities and Formal, this is massive for them. So if you're Chicago, this is exactly where you want to be. As this is about to rotate, we go back to exactly how it was to begin with, but you want to push out a little bit. So as you're looking on screen right here, you saw Envoy pushed up a little bit. Shotzzy was able to sneak into hill, but he's not going to be able to hold this down. At least I wouldn't think so. But if you look at the kill feed, that's like 6 down for Chicago, and now Chicago's spawning out. So that's a massive turn of events there, because Chicago had control of hill and they had spawns, and then they went down in hill and everybody died. There was like 6 or 7 down in hill. So the last 35 seconds here is probably going to go to Dallas, barring any sorts of kind of a miracle here. This one is hard to get through. There was a bunch of smokes they were able to kill, and it looks like, so now if you're Chicago, what you want to do is you want to push out just a little bit further than this. So they are getting the time in the hill, but what you would like to see is you would like to somebody push out just a little bit so that you could watch those back alleys. The last 10 seconds are going to be going to Dallas here, but this is exact opposite of what happened the first time on rotation. So as we're going to the third hard point, you can now see that Chicago is set up. So Arcities is right there in hill, and everybody else from Chicago is pushed up into those cuts. So they're in those choke points, and essentially they just don't want Dallas to go ahead and push through those mid maps. So Formal's watching this mid cut. Looks like 3 just went down for Dallas. So right now, this is what Arcities is doing. He knows that somebody is on that hard flank, so that's why Arcities is looking behind him. Think about it. If you're Chicago and nobody came through those first 2 cuts, then you know that they have to be on a hard flank trying to push them all the way from behind. That was a nice pinch there. It does look like Dallas is in hill right now, and as we're going for that fourth hard point, you can now see that Dallas has spawns for that fourth hard point. So this is pretty big time. These 15 seconds are really big time for Chicago. You want to try to get the most of this, because as it rotates back to the fourth hard point, Dallas is going to be the team that's set up. So again, as we rotate to the fourth hard point, Dallas is going to be in. So this 40-point lead for Chicago right now is going to end up going away. My guess would be that this is probably going to be tied as it goes back to the fifth hard point. So as you're watching this, the most important thing here is who's going to have spawns at the end of this, because on first rotation, we saw that Chicago had spawns for that fifth hardpoint hill, and they maxed it out. They were able to get all 60 points. So if that happens on this round of rotations, that's going to be all she wrote, because that's going to be enough to win. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up coming out of these hills, not with position for the fourth hardpoint, but with position for the fifth hardpoint. A lot of kills going down for Chicago right now. It looks like Formal, Arcities. These are really going both ways. Now, this is what I'm a little bit nervous of. So Chicago was able to get a few kills, and now they are in spawn. They're in the fourth hardpoint, but there's a couple people missing, right? I'm trying to count up on the left side, the kill feed. I'm trying to watch and see what's happening. So with 2 seconds left, there are 4 players for Chicago in the fourth hardpoint. That means as it rotates to the fifth hardpoint, you can see the setup right here. So Chicago is set up. They are in hill. They have one person pushed out. It looks like that was Gunless that was pushed forward a little bit. One thing I don't like is I don't like Formal in hill right here. So he is such a dominant AR. You don't want him in a really tight space like that. You do want him pushed up a little bit. Formal did just get a 3-piece though. I wish that we were on board with him so we could see him. Right now, Dallas is trying to break this by pushing through that smoke. Doesn't really look like too many people are watching that flank. There are 27 seconds left, and they only need 20 to win. So they can definitely win off this hill if they can hold down the flanks, but it looks like Chicago doesn't have anybody pushed into those cuts. So right now, whoever's in hill, Formal's in hill, he is getting pinched. So the last 15 seconds here is probably going to end up going to Dallas, which means this is going to come down to the first hill. So those 5 seconds are huge. So right now you're going to see spawns don't matter. Everybody's going to end up flooding towards that middle hill. It is 60 seconds. So if Dallas is able to keep Chicago off, they can win on this hill. That's pretty hard to do. But right now, spawns don't matter. Nobody is playing for that second hard point. Everybody is playing for this first one. So we'll see if people are able to push through this smoke. Looks like right now it's contested. This is a super intense battle. So right now it's open, 249 and 250. So the very first matchup, wow, what a game. Look at the emotion from Scum. Man, they've been hearing it for 4 or 5 months, just how bad they're going to lose to Dallas, how Dallas is going to dominate them. What a performance. And the big one there was that 5th hard point. On both times, they basically maxed out that time. I would say they got at least 110 points there on Azhir Cave. Man, what a way to kick off the league. Heck of a job. I wish that we could see the stats here. Are they going to show any part of the scoreboard? Not sure if they're going to bring it up, but it looks like Formal got multiple 3-pieces, especially in hill, especially on that last rotation there. Arcides was on a 5 or 6 spree. This is exactly what we saw there at the end from Formal. There was 2. There was 3, and this is why they're so good at maps like this, because they have ARs that are so dominant. They do such a good job at just locking down these rotations. So, wow, heck of a job from Chicago. So if you're new around here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing this for every single matchup this weekend. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tune in for all of my breakdowns. And with that, guys, thank you so much for the support recently. Make sure you leave a like, and I'll catch you in the next one. We'll see you.